Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of ArossGames where we're continuing our Doki Doki Literature Club adventure. Who should I show my poem to next? I think Yuri is the winner. Wow, it's my turn. Let's see how it compares to yesterday's. I see. It's a bit different. I respect you for trying different things, McNerpinson. Were you inspired by Natsuki's poem? Or Sayori's, perhaps? Well, I guess you could say that. Well, I thought so. I'm happy for you. You don't need to find inspiration in my poems because the words I use are probably too big for your little dum-dumness. I write them for myself. Not for anyone else. So I don't really need for people to like them or anything. Yuri. I'm sorry for being blunt, but you're overthinking this a little. Just because our styles are different doesn't mean I dislike your poems. In fact, if I try to do something in your style, I would probably just do a terrible job. I'll see. I'm sorry. My stupid mind, it likes to do that sometimes. Anyway, you don't need to be afraid to do a little more daring. Metaphors can go a long way. All the way to Texas and back. Don't feel like you need to work your brain like turning a bunch of gears. Try letting your mind wander through your feelings. And write down the things you see and hear. That's one way to truly enable your reader to see into your mind. It's very intimate exercise. I see. That's a certainly interesting technique. Thanks for sharing. I have, an example of that if you'd like to read it. Of course. Is this the poem you wrote for today? Yuri nods and timidly hands me her poem. That raccoon. It happened in the dead of night while I was slicing bread for a guilty stank. My attention was caught by the scuttering of a raccoon outside my window, where my daddy yelled, "Get the shotgun, we're gonna shoot that damn raccoon. I'm sick of him getting in our garbage and eating our stuff." Well, anyway, that was, I believe, the first time I noticed my strange tendencies as an unordinary human. I gave the raccoon a piece of bread. My subconscious, well aware of the consequences. Well aware that a raccoon that is fed will always come back for more. The enticing beauty of my cutting knife was the symptom. The bread, my hungry curiosity. The raccoon, an urge. The moon increments a phase and reflects that much more light off my cutting knife. The very same light that glistens in the eyes of my raccoon friend. I slice the bread, fresh and soft. The raccoon becomes excited. Or perhaps I'm merely projecting my emotions onto the newly satisfied animal. The raccoon has taken to following me. You could say that we've gotten quite used to each other. That raccoon becomes hungry more and more frequently. So my bread is always handy dandy. Every time I brandish my cutting knife, the raccoon shows me its excitement. A rush of blood, classic Pavlovian conditioning. I slice the bread, and I feel myself again. I was a little more daring with this one than yesterday's. I can see that. It's a lot more metaphorical. I don't know if it's my fault, but I can't begin to imagine what this poem is about. Well, that's right. It's a bit closer to my preferred writing style. Depressing. Using the poem as a canvas to express vivid imagery and conveying emotions through them. Yeah, if I take it at face value, then I can't even figure out what it's supposed to mean. Well, I think it's something that different people can relate to in their own way. I wanted to express the way I feel for me to indulge in my usual hobbies. It's those sorts of things I'm usually forced to keep to myself. So I sometimes enjoy writing about them. That's funny. Oh? Didn't Natsuki also write something about that? About someone being ridiculed for a strange interest? Oh. She did? Yeah. She was talking about how it doesn't matter what you're into as long as you're not hurting anybody. She's right. I mean, does she really feel that way? Yeah. Sounds like you two have that in common. That's interesting. To me, she seemed like the kind of person who would make fun of my hobbies. But I suppose that's my fault for judging, isn't it? Please don't tell her I said that. Don't worry, I have no reason to. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing it with me. After all, if I hadn't learned to embrace my own weirdness, I would probably hate myself. I might be ranting a little bit now, but I'm glad that you're a good listener. Okay, everyone. We're all done reading each other's poems, right? I have something extra planned for today, so if everyone could come sit at the front of that room.
Is this about the festival?
Well, sort of.
Do we really have to do something for the festival? It's not like we can put together anything good in just a few days. We'll just end up embarrassing ourselves instead of getting any new members.
That's a concern of mine as well. I don't really do well with last-minute preparations. Don't worry so much. We're going to keep it simple, okay? We won't need much more than a few decorations. Sayori has been working on posters, and I've designed some pamphlets we can give out during the event.
Okay, that's great and all, but that doesn't tell us what we're exactly going to be doing for the event.
Sorry. I thought you heard about it already. We're going to be performing.
Performing?
Monica. Yeah, we're going to be having a poetry performance. Each of us are going to choose a poem to recite during the event. But the cool part is, we're also going to let anyone else come up and recite poems too. Sayori's putting it on all the posters in case anyone wants to prepare ahead of time. Sayori, who's been coloring a poster, holds it up for us to see.
Are you kidding me, Monica? You didn't already start putting these posters up, did you?
Well, I did. Do you really think it's that bad of an idea?
Well, no. It's not a bad idea. I didn't sign up for this, you know. There's no way I'm going to be performing in front of a group of people like that.
Well, I agree with Natsuki. I could never in my life do something like that. Imagining it, Yuri shakes her head in fear. Yay! Now, Sayori, I understand where they're coming from. Remember that Natsuki and Yuri have never shared their poems with anyone until just a couple days ago. It's a lot to ask for them to recite their poems out loud to a whole room full of people. I guess I kind of overlooked that, so I'm sorry. But I still think we should give it our best. We're the only ones responsible for the fate of this club. If we start the event and put on a good performance, then it will inspire others to do the same. And the more people who perform, the better we'll be able to show everyone what literature is about. Yeah! It's about expressing your feelings. Be intimate with yourself. Finding new horizons. And having fun. That's right. And it's those reasons that we're all in this club today. Don't you want to share that with others? To inspire them to find the same feelings that brought you here in the first place. I know you do. I know we all do. And if it takes a standing in front of the room for 2 minutes and reciting a poem, then I know you can do it. Natsuki and Yuri remain silent. Sayori looks worried. I guess that leaves me no choice. I agree. I don't think it's too much to ask. I think that Sayori and Monica have been trying really hard to get new members. The least we can do is help them out a little bit.
Well, maybe, but...
It looks like Natsuki doesn't have any arguments left.
Okay, fine. I guess I just have to get it over with.
Alright. Phew. Thanks, Natsuki. What about you, Yuri? Yuri dejectedly glances around the room at everyone's expectant faces. I guess I don't really have a choice. Yeah, that's everyone. You're the best, Yuri. This club is seriously going to be the death of me. Oh gosh. You'll be fine, Yuri. But anyway, let's move on to the main event. I want each of you to choose a poem of yours. We're going to practice reciting them in front of each other.
No way!
Monica! This is too sudden. Well, if you can't recite your poem in front of the club, how do you expect to do it in front of strangers? Oh no. Don't worry. I'll start off to help everyone feel a little more comfortable. Can I go next? Of course. Now, let's see. Monica flips through her notebook to the specific poem she has in mind for herself. She then stands behind the podium. The title of this poem is The Way They Fly. Ahem. Monica begins reciting her poem. Her clear, confident voice fills the room. More than that, her inflection is pristine. She knows exactly how to apply emotion behind each line she recites, bringing the words to life. Is this something she's done before? Or is she simply a natural? I glance around me. Everyone has their eyes on Monica. Sayori looks amazed. Yuri has an intense expression on her face that I don't understand. Finally, Monica finishes the recitation. The four of us applaud. Monica takes a breath and smiles. That was so good, Monica. Up. Thank you very much. I was just hoping to set a good example. Are you ready to go next, Sayori? Well, I'll go next. Well, you're as fired up I'm sitting. Yuri clutches a sheet of paper between her hands and stands up. Keeping her head down, she walks quickly over to the podium. Well, this poem is called... Yuri anxiously glances at each of us. You can do it, Yuri. It's called After Image of the Crimson Eye. Yuri's voice shakes as she starts reading the poem. Just a moment ago, she practically refused to do this. Why is she suddenly putting in so much effort? As Yuri gets past the first couple of lines, her voice changes. It's almost like what happens when Yuri gets absorbed into her books. Her quivering words transform into the sharp syllables of a fierce and confident woman. This poem is full of twists and turns in its structure that she enunciates with perfect timing. This must be a rare glimpse into the whirling fire Yuri keeps concealed inside of her head. Suddenly, she's finished. Everyone is stunned. Yuri snaps back into reality and glances around her as if she's bewildered even herself. Why? It's up to me to save this situation. I'm the first to start applauding. Everyone joins me afterward, and we give Yuri the recognition she deserves. Or the recognition. Recognition. Fucking dumbass. It's not that we didn't want to applaud for her, but we were caught so off guard that we must have forgotten. As we applaud, Yuri holds the poem to her chest and rushes back into her seat.
Yuri, that was really good. Thank you for sharing.
Looks like Yuri is down for the count.
Okay, I guess I'm next then.
Sayori hops out of her chair and cheerfully walks to the podium.
This one's called My Medal. Sorry, I giggled.
Sayori.
It's a lot harder than I thought. How'd you guys do it so easily?
Try not to think of it like you're reciting it to other people. Imagine you are a robot reading imaging in your head that is in front of people, but it doesn't have to be people. It can be robots or other mechanical beings, that sort of thing. Imagine you're reciting it to yourself like in front of a mirror or in your own head. It's your poem, so it'll come out the best way.
I see. Okay then.
Sayori begins her poem. Somehow it feels like her soft voice was made as a perfect match. The poem isn't aimlessly cheery like Sayori is. It's serene and bittersweet. If I were to read this on paper, I probably wouldn't think much of it. But hearing it come from Sayori's voice almost gives it a whole new meaning. Maybe this is what Sayori meant when she says she likes my poems. It's like I get to reach more deeply into someone I thought I knew through and through. Sayori finishes, and we applaud.
Yay! I did it!
Good job, Sayori.
Yeah, even the girlfriends like it. I guess that's a good sign.
What does that even mean?
It came out nicely, Sayori. The atmosphere of your poem fits you really nicely. But it might be that other poems wouldn't work quite as well with that kind of delivery. I don't understand. In other words, I've seen poems of yours where that sort of gentle delivery wouldn't work as well. They might need a little bit more force behind them depending on what you're reading. I understand. I've been practicing that kind of thing. It's just embarrassing to do in front of everyone. That next time I'm going to make you pick a poem that challenges you a little more. We don't have much time before the festival, you know. Okay. Now, who's next? I believe the next person is the next time on ArossGames. Thank you for joining this episode. We all appreciate you watching these videos. Yeah, we really like it when you guys like the videos and comment nice things below about us. And subscribe. And join the Aross family.
Yes, I'm really lucky with you guys. You know, you guys are cool, so we wish you'd hang around a little more.
Yeah. I may be embarrassed to read poems in front of people, but I definitely know one thing, and that is that we love you guys hanging around and subscribing to ArossGames. Thanks for joining, guys. As these beautifully drawn ladies have mentioned, if you'd like the video, I'd appreciate it. Leave a comment below, let me know you guys are enjoying this. And comment what you'd like to see me do more of. And feel free to subscribe to join the Aross family. Thanks for joining, guys, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!